In terms of ExamsNet, welcome to the question series of ExamsNet. Students, you must have explored our website www.examsnet.com. This site is a great place for you to practice your entrance exam question papers because here you will find so many entrance exam question papers along with their detailed PDF solution. And you must download our app. The link is available in the description box. So, students, today we will be solving JEE Main 24th Jan 2025 shift first paper. Okay. So, in this particular video, I'll be solving the physics part of the paper. So, starting with the very first question of the physics section, that is question number 26. Consider a parallel plate capacitor of area A and separation D. Parallel plate capacitor of area A and separation D between the plates. If E is electric field and epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space between the plates, then the potential energy stored in the capacitor is. Okay. So the students, we know the energy density formula. Average energy density is 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square. So potential energy will be average density into volume. Okay. So potential energy will be half epsilon naught E square into volume, and volume will be equals to area into length. Since D is the separation between the plates, so it will be half epsilon naught E square A into D. Okay. So the correct option is 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square AD, means option B is the correct answer. Now question number 27. A thin plano-convex lens made of glass of refractive index 1.5 is immersed in a liquid of refractive index 1.2. When the plane side of the lens is silver coated for complete reflection, the lens immersed in the liquid behaves like a concave mirror of focal length 0.2 meter. So we have to find the radius of curvature of the curved surface. Okay. So we are given that it is a plano-convex lens, okay, made of glass of refractive index. Its refractive index is given as 1.5 and it is immersed in liquid. And the liquid refractive index means outer refractive index is given as 1.2. When the plane side of the lens is silver coated, it is silver coated, so it acts as a concave mirror. So just apply the direct formula. 1 over F is equals to 1 over Fm minus 2 over Fl. Since this side is silver coated and it is behaving like a concave mirror, so for this here radius of curvature r, and for here the radius of curvature will be infinity, so this part will be equals to 0. So 1 over F will be equals to minus of 2 over Fl, and we know that 1 over Fl it is equals to and Fl, sorry, not 1 over Fl. Fl is equals to minus of 2 1 over Fl. It will be equals to minus of 2 refractive index of the plano-convex lens 1.5 over refractive index of the surrounding 1.2 minus 1 into 1 over R1 and minus 1 over R2, but since this R2 is infinity, so it will be 0. So we'll get only 1 over R. Okay. So this 1 over F will be equals to minus 2 1.5 over 1.2 minus of and 1 into 1 over R. Okay. And this 1 over F, it is equals to F is given as in the question 0.2 meter. Okay, so 1 over 0.2 will be equals to this minus of 2. It will be 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15. So it will be 1 by 4 and into 1 over r. Okay. So 2 2s are 4. This will be 2 5s are 10. So r will be equals to 1 over 10. Means it will be equals to 0.1. Okay. So our answer is option D, 0.10 meter. Now next question 28. For an experimental expression y equals to 32.3 into 1125 over 27.4, where all the digits are significant, then to report the value of y we should write. Okay, the question is of the significant figures. Okay, so here y is given as 32.3 into 1125 over 27.4, and we will, when we will solve this, we get 1326.18. So we will correct it to three significant figure, means y will be equals to 1330. So the correct answer is option A, 1330. Okay. Now next question 29. A satellite is launched into a circular orbit of radius r around the earth. Let us say this is earth and satellite is having a radius r. Okay, let us say this is earth and a satellite is launched orbit of radius r. A second satellite is launched into orbit of radius 1.03. Let us say another satellite is launched and it is of radius 1.03 r. So the time period of revolution of the second satellite is larger than the first one approximately by. Okay, let us say its time is t1, the first satellite, and the second satellite is having time t2. So we know that from Kepler's law, t square is directly proportional to r cube. So here t will be directly proportional to r to the power 3 by 2. So for this t1 we can write t1 directly proportional to this r 3 by 2, and for t2 we can write it is directly proportional to this 1.03 r 3 by 2. So when we divide it to t2, let us say here will be a proportionality constant 1.03 r raised to the power 3 by 2 divided by t1 is equals to k r 3 by 2. So it k cancels out. So t2 over t1 will be equals to 1.03 power 3 by 2 into r 3 by 2 over r 3 by 2. This r 3 by 2 r 3 by 2 cancels out. So t2 will be equals to 1.045 of t1, means t2 will be 4.5 larger with respect to t1. Okay, this is our answer. Now the next question is 30. The amount of work done to break a big water drop of radius r into 27 small drops of equal radius is 10 joule. The work done required to break the same big drop into 64 small drops of equal radius will be. Okay. So first of all, let us say this is a big water drop and its radius is given as capital R. Okay. Let's say it is breaking up into several small drops. Okay. Let us say the radius of the small drop is small r and there are n number of small drops. Okay. So the work done will be to break this big drop into small drops. It will be final potential in minus initial potential energy. Okay. So it will be n number of these small drops into, since the potential energy is surface tension into area, so n number of small drops into surface tension S into area. Area is 4 pi r square minus the initial potential energy. It will be S into 4 pi capital R square, since capital R is the radius of the big drop. Okay, so it will be equals to N into S into 4 pi and this R. So how we will find this R? Since we know that capital R cube, volume of the capital R cube, volume of the big drop having radius capital R cube will be equals to N times the total volume of the small drops having radius small r. So capital R cube will be equals to N into small r cube. So small r will be equals to capital R over N raised to the power 1 by 3. So in place of small r, we will write R over N, and it is R square. So R square over N raised to the power 2 by 3 minus S into 4 pi R square. Okay. So from here we see that W is equals to, take S into 4 pi R square common. So it will be equals to N raised to the power 1 by 3 minus 1. It means the work done is directly proportional to N raised to the power 1 by 3 minus 1. Now we'll take the data given in the question. At first, the capital R radius means the big water drop is breaking up into 27 small drops. 27 means W1 will be equals to this. N is 27 raised to the power 1 by 3 minus 1. And after that, at this time, the amount of work done, this is equals to 10 joule. Okay, and after that, the work done required to break same big drop into 64. So we have to find the value of W2, and here 64 raised to the power 1 by 3 minus 1. So divide this whole equation, we get 10 is equals to 27 raised to the power 1 by 3 means 3 minus 1 over W2. It will be 4 minus 1. So it will be 2 by 3. So W2 will be equals to 2 5s are 10. So W2 will be equals to 15 joule. Okay. So our answer is option D, that is 15 joule. Now question number 31. The Young's double slit interference experiment is performed using light consisting of 480 nanometer and 600 nanometer wavelengths to form interference pattern. Okay. The least number of the bright fringes of 480 nanometer light that are required for the first coincidence with the bright fringes formed by 600 nanometer light is. Okay. So we have to find the least number of bright fringes. So in this question, at first the fringe width is given as 480 nanometer and second is given as, okay, this is wavelength. 480 nanometer is wavelength lambda 1 and 600 nanometer is wavelength lambda 2. Okay. So for fringe width of wavelength lambda 1 will be fringe width of wavelength lambda 1. It is 480 nanometer and of lambda 2 is 600 nanometer. So we can write fringe width beta is equals to lambda d over d. So for this lambda 1, we can write beta 1 equals to lambda 1 d over d. So it will be 480 d over d. Let us say this is equation number 1. Now for this, we can write beta 2 is equals to lambda 2 capital D over small d. So it will be 600 d over d. Okay. So from here we can clearly see that for minimum value, so 5 into beta 1 will be equals to 4 into beta 2. Okay. This 5 into beta 1 is equals to 4 into beta 2. It means fifth maxima of lambda 1 is equals to 480 nanometer and fourth maxima of lambda 2 is equals to 600 nanometer. So for the least number of bright fringes of 480 nanometer that are required for the first coincidence with the bright fringes, it will be option number C, means 5. Okay. Now next question 32. An ideal gas goes from an initial state to final state. During the process, the pressure of gas increases linearly with temperature. So we have to find among these which one is correct and which one is wrong. Okay, we know that for an ideal gas, PV equals to mu RT or nRT, whatever we say. So P is equals to constant T. So P T minus 1 is equals to constant. It means P by T is equals to constant. Means P over PV is equals to constant. This implies that V is constant. So whenever V is constant, it means it is a isochoric process. You say it is an isochoric process. So option E, the process is isochoric constant volume process. This one is correct. Okay. And in this case, for an isochoric process, we know that the work done by the gas will be 0. So if the work done by the gas will be 0, it means the internal energy of the gas will increase. And option A, that is the work done by the gas during this isochoric process, is 0. Means option A, D and E are correct, but this C and B are wrong. So for this, ADE means option A is the correct answer. Now question 33. A car of mass M moves on a banked road having radius R and banking angle theta. So a car is moving on a banked road. The angle is given as theta. Let us say this is a car and it is having a mass M. So to avoid slipping bank road, the maximum permissible speed of the car is V0. Okay, the coefficient of friction mu between the wheels of the car and okay, we have to find the coefficient of friction mu. So if the car is having mass M, so mg will act in the downward direction and n cos theta will act in this direction and n sin theta will act in this direction. And for this, the force is in this direction, F. Okay, so for this, resolving the force component into two parts, so F cos theta will be in this direction and F sin theta will be in this direction. Okay, so resolving these, we get n sin theta plus F cos theta will be equals to mv square over r. Let us say this is equation number 1. And for this, n cos theta minus F sin theta will be equals to mg. This is equation 2nd. Now dividing equation 1 by 2nd. So this will be m will cancels out. So we get sin theta plus, if we take n common, then it will be f over n, and f over n is mu, coefficient of friction, cos theta over cos theta minus of mu sin theta. It will be equals to this v square over r into g. Okay. So now divide this, first multiply here. So rg sin theta plus rg mu cos theta will be equals to v square cos theta minus v square mu sin theta. Now divide both numerator and LHS and RHS with cos theta, so we get rg tan theta plus mu Rg is equals to V square minus V square U tan theta. Okay. Now we can write it as Rg tan theta minus V square is equals to minus mu Rg minus mu V square tan theta, taking minus sign common. So we get V square minus Rg tan theta. It will be equals to, now taking mu common, mu Rg plus V square tan theta. So from here we see that mu is equals to V square minus Rg tan theta over Rg plus V square tan theta. So V square minus Rg tan theta, or we can say V naught square minus Rg tan theta over Rg plus V naught square tan theta. It means option C is the correct answer. 6.1 centimeter lies at a depth of 20 centimeter below the free surface of a liquid of density 1000 kg per meter cube. If the pressure inside the bubble is 2100 Newton per meter square greater than the atmospheric pressure, then the surface tension of the liquid in SI unit is, okay. Let us say the air bubble is here and this height is given as 20 centimeter, okay. Let P naught be the atmospheric pressure, and this bubble, it is having pressure of P2 and surrounding pressure is P1, okay. So we know that for these two, P2 and P1 pressure, P2 minus P1 is what? 2S over R. Let us say this is equation number 1. And this P1 means surrounding pressure P1 is equals to this atmospheric pressure plus rho GH. Okay. So atmospheric pressure is P naught, rho is given as 1000, G is 10 and H is 0.2 meter. Okay. So from here we get P1 is equals to P naught plus 2,000. Let us say this is equation number 2. Now coming to equation number 1, this P2 minus P1 will be equals to 2 into S over R. R is given as 0.1 centimeter, means 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter. Okay. And it is given in the question that if the pressure inside the bubble is 2100 greater than the atmospheric pressure, means it is given that P2 will be equals to P naught plus 2100. So from here we can write P naught plus 2100 minus P1, and P1 is this P naught minus 2,000. It will be equals to 2S into 10 to the power 3. So this P naught cancels out and it will be 100 equals to 2S into 100 into 10. So this 100 cancels out. So 2S will be equals to 1 over 10. So S will be equals to 1 over 20, means 0.05. So our answer is surface tension is 0.05, means option B is the correct answer. Now the question is 35. A parallel plate capacitor was made with two rectangular plates. There are two rectangular plates, okay, each with a length of L equals to 3 centimeter. L is given as 3 centimeter and breadth is given as 1 centimeter. The distance between the plates is 3 micrometer. Out of the following, which are the ways to increase the capacitance by a factor of 10? Okay. First of all, we know that C is equals to A epsilon naught over D, and this A is equals to LB, length into breadth, since these are of rectangular shape. To C, let us say it is C naught. So C naught will be equals to L into B into epsilon naught over D. So it will be L is given as 3 centimeter, means 3 into 10 to the power minus 2. Breadth is given as 1 centimeter. And epsilon naught over D. D is given as 3 micrometer, means 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. So when we solve it, we get C naught is equals to 3 cancels, 10 to the power minus 4 epsilon naught over 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, so C naught will be equals to epsilon naught over 10 to the power minus 6 plus 4. So C naught will be equals to epsilon naught over 10 to the power minus 2. Okay. It is 3, it is 1, and it is 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. Okay. So it means C naught is equals to 10 to the power minus 4 minus 6 epsilon naught 10 to the power minus 6 plus 4. Okay, so it will be 100 epsilon naught. Okay, now we have to check among these given 5 options for which the capacitor increases by a factor of 10. Let's start with option A, C and E only. So for C, we see that L equals to 6 centimeter and B equals to 5 centimeter and D equals to 3 micrometer. So for it, we write like C is equals to 6 centimeter. Na? So 6 into 10 to the power minus 2 into this B, 5 into 10 to the power minus 2 into epsilon naught over D. D is 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. So it will be 3 to the 6, 5 to the 10 into 10 to the power minus 4 over 10 to the power minus 6 epsilon naught. Okay, so it is something like this, means it will be 10 C naught, means option C is correct. Now if we check for E, so for E, C will be equals to 5 centimeter, 2 centimeter and 1 micrometer. 5 centimeter, 2 centimeter and 1 micrometer. So when we check it, we get 5 to the 10 into 10 to the power minus 4 over 10 to the power minus 6 epsilon naught. Again, it is like this C naught. So C will be equals to 10 C naught. Okay, so it means these C and E are both correct. So option A is the correct answer. Now next question is 36. So in this question, it is given that clearly C and E are the situation for 10 CA uniform solid cylinder of mass M and radius R rolls along an inclined rough plane of inclination 45 degree. If it starts to roll from rest, means there is an inclined plane and a solid cylinder is rolling, means this is a case of pure rolling. Okay, so from the top of the plane, then the linear acceleration of the cylinder axis will be, okay, since this uniform solid cylinder is rolling and it is having a mass m, so for pure rolling we considered the case for acceleration A equals to g sine theta over k plus 1, and here theta is given as 45 degree. So for solid cylinder, we know that k is equals to 1 by 2. So A will be equals to g sine 45 degree over 1 plus 1 by 2. It will be equals to g sine 45 over 3 into 2. So A will be equals to 2g sine 45 is 1 by root 2. So it will be 3 into root 2. So it will be equals to root 2 over 3 into g. So our answer is option B. Now next question 37. During the transition of electron from state A to state C of a Bohr atom, state A to state C of a Bohr atom, the wavelength of the emitted radiation is 2000 angstrom. Okay, this is A, B, C. Okay. When it is coming from A to C, the wavelength is 2000 angstrom and it becomes 6000 when the electron jumps from B to C. When it jumps from B to C, then at that time the wavelength is 6000 angstrom. Then the wavelength of the radiation emitted during the transition of electron from A to B. Okay, we have to find for A to B. Okay, so for A to C, we know the formula, since the formula is Hc over lambda is equals to E naught into the atomic number square into 1 over n2 square minus 1 over n1 square. So for A to C it will be Hc over lambda 1 equals to E naught z square 1 over n c square minus 1 over n a square. Okay, let us say this is equation number 1. And for B to C, it will be Hc over lambda 2. It is equals to E naught z square 1 over n c square minus 1 over n b square. Let us say this is equation number 7. And in the question, we are asked to find from A to B. So for A to B, the equation will be Hc over lambda 3. It will be E naught z square 1 over n b square minus 1 over n a square. This is equation number 3. Okay. So what we will do, let us subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So when we subtract equation 2 from equation 1, we get Hc 1 over lambda 1 minus 1 over lambda 2. It will be E naught z square. This 1 over nc square will cancel out 1 over nc square and this will become positive. So it will be 1 over nb square minus 1 over na square. Okay, means this. And this part is equals to what? Hc over lambda c. So it will be equals to Hc over lambda 3. This Hc cancels out. So it will be lambda 2 minus lambda 1 over lambda 1 into lambda 2. It will be equals to 1 over lambda 3. Now just put the value. We know that lambda 2 is 6000. Lambda 1 is 3000. 6000 into 3000. 3000 or 2000? Oh, sorry, 2000. 2000 into 2000 and it will be equals to 1 over lambda 3. So when we solve it, we get 4000 over 12 into 10 to the power 6 equals to 1 over lambda 3. So lambda 3 is equals to 12 into 10 to the power 6 over 4 into 10 to the power 3. 4 3s are 12. So lambda 3 will be 3 into 10 to the power 3, means lambda 3 is 3000 angstrom. So our answer is 3000 angstrom, means option B is the correct answer. Now next question 38. An object of mass m is projected from origin in a vertical xy plane at an angle of 45 degree with the x-axis with initial velocity v naught. There is an object whose mass is m. It is projected at an angle of 45 degree with the x-axis. Okay. Initial velocity is given as v naught. The magnitude and direction of the angular momentum of the object with respect to the origin when it reaches the maximum height. So what will be the angular momentum when it reaches the maximum height? So let us say this height is h. Okay. So when it reaches the maximum height, so at that time its velocity will be, initially its velocity is v naught. At this point its velocity will be v cos 45 degree. It means vx is equals to v naught over root 2. Let us say this is equation number 1. Now the angular momentum will be m into this v into height h. So L will be equals to m, v is v naught by root 2 into height. This height will be, this is angle 45, this is 90 degree. So to calculate this height, we will write, it will become v naught by root 2 whole square into 1 over 2g. Okay. So when we will solve it, L will come out to be m v naught cube over 4 root 2 g. Okay. And so the answer is L is equals to m v naught cube 4 root 2 g. Okay, now there are two options, along positive z direction or along negative z direction. So it will be along negative z direction. Okay, negative z direction. So the correct answer is option 4. Now next question 39. Consider the following statement. Okay, so the question is about the solar cell. So student, we know that the cell junction area are always narrow, not narrow, always wider. So option A is wrong. Option A is wrong. And B is given as solar cells are not connected with any external bias. This is correct. Solar cells are not connected with any external bias. And LED is made of lightly doped PN junction. And doped with PN junction. Student, first of all, we know that LED is connected in the forward bias PN junction. Okay. And its intensity increases up to a certain value of current. And further, there is no charge as the intensity saturates. So for option 3, it is wrong. And option D, increase of forward current results in continuous increase of light intensity. This is also wrong because the intensity saturates at last. And option E is LEDs have to connect it in forward bias. This is correct. So only option B and E is correct. Means answer A is the correct answer. Okay. Now question 40. What is the relative decrease in focal length of a lens for an increase in optical power from this to this? Okay. We know that the formula of power P equals to 1 over F. So for the first case, P1 will be equals to 1 over F1. Means F1 is equals to 1 over P1. Means when at starting the power is this na. So F1 will be equals to 1 over 2.5. Now in the second case, it is increasing with 0.1 D diopter. So P2 will be equals to 1 over F2, means F2 will be equals to 1 over 2.5 plus 0.1. So it will be 1 over 2.6. This is the second case. Now the decrease in focal length, relative decrease will be change in the focal length over the initial one. So it will be F2 minus F1 over F1. So it will be F2 over F1 minus of 1. And F2 is what? 1 over 2.6 and F1 is 1 over 2.5. So it will be 2.5 over 2.6 minus of 1. So it will be 0.1 over 2.6, means it is 0.04 diopter. Not diopter, it is change in the focal length. So it will be 0.01, means option A 0.04, sorry. So option B is the correct answer. Okay. Now question 41. A force F equals to alpha plus beta x square acts on an object in the x direction. The work done by the force is 5 joule when the object is displaced by 1 meter. If the constant alpha equals to 1 Newton, then we have to find the value of this beta. So we are given with force equals to alpha plus beta x square. And we know that work done is equals to integration of f dot dx. So work done will be equals to integration of f dot dx. It means integration of f is given as alpha plus beta x square dx. So work done will be equals to, this will be alpha x plus beta x cube over 3 when we integrate it from 0 to 1. So it will be equals to alpha plus beta by 3, and this work done is equals to 5 joule. So it will be equals to, okay, we are given that alpha equals to 1. So 1 plus beta over 3 equals to 5. So beta over 3 is equals to 4. So beta is equals to nothing but 12 Newton per meter square. Means option C is the correct answer. Now question 42. A plano-convex lens having radius of curvature of first surface 2 centimeter exhibits focal length of f1 in air. Okay. Another plano-convex lens with first surface radius of curvature 3 centimeter has focal length of f2 when it is immersed in a liquid of refractive index 1.2. Okay, so there is first plano-convex lens. Its radius of curvature is 2 centimeter and focal length is f1. It is in the air. Okay, there is another plano-convex lens with first surface radius of curvature 3 centimeter. Focal length is f2 when it is immersed in a liquid of refractive index 1.2. Means now the surrounding refractive index is 1.2. If both the lenses are made up of same glass of refractive index 1.5, means its refractive index is also 1.5 and its refractive index is also 1.5. So we have to find the ratio of f over f2. Okay. So for the first case, means for f1 we will write 1 over f1 is equals to mu minus 1, 1.5 minus 1 into 1 over r. Our radius is given as 2, radius of curvature. So it will be 1.5, means it will be 15. 1.5 minus 1, na? So it will be 0.5 into 1 by 2. So it will be equals to 1 by 4 only. Let us say this is equation number 1. And for second, 1 over f2, it will be, see, surrounding refractive index 1.2 and lens refractive index is 1.5. So it will be 1.5 over 1.2 minus of 1 into 1 over r, means 1 by 3. So it will be equals to 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15. So it will be 1 by 4 into 1 by 3. This is second. So we have to find the ratio of f1 over f2. So f1 over f2 means 1 over f1 over 1 over f2. 1 over f1 is 1 by 4 and 1 over f2 is 1 by 4 into 1 by 3. So 1 by 4 cancels out. So from here we get f1 over f2 is equals to 3. 3 or f1, 1 by 3, sorry. So our answer is 1 ratio 3, option B. Now next question is 43. A particle is executing simple harmonic motion with time period 2 second. Okay, time period is given as 2 second and amplitude is given as 1 centimeter. If d and d are the total distance and displacement covered by the particle in 12.5 second, okay, then we have to find the ratio of capital D over small d. So amplitude is given as 1 centimeter, means if a particle is starting at t equals to 0 second, then it is 1 second, mean 1 minus 1, and time period is of 2 second, means in 2 second it is traveling 1 centimeter plus 1 2 centimeter plus 1 3 centimeter and then 1 4 centimeter, means in one time period it is traveling 4 centimeter. So in 12.5 second it is traveling 2 6 are 12 means 6 oscillation plus 1 quarter oscillation. Okay, since in half second it is traveling 1 centimeter, another half second it is traveling in this 1 centimeter means in 1 second it is traveling 2 centimeter. So in 2 second it is traveling 4 centimeter. So in 12.5 second it is completing 6 oscillation plus 1 quarter oscillation. It means the distance capital D will be 6 oscillation means 6 into and one time period is of 4 centimeters, so 6 into 4 plus this 1 quarter oscillation. 1 quarter oscillation means this means 1 centimeter. So it will be 6 to 24, 125, 25 centimeter. And small d is displacement. Displacement means 12 in 12.5 second. In first 12 second, it is completing six oscillation. Six oscillation means after 12 second, it is returning to its original position, and after this zero point 0.5 second it is going here. So the displacement is this. So the displacement is 1 centimeter. Okay, so we have to find the ratio of capital D over small d. So it will be 25 over 1 means 25 centimeters. So the answer is option D. Now question 44. An alternating current is given by I equals to IA sine omega t plus IB cos omega t. Then we have to find the RMS value. Okay, so we are given with I equals to IA sine omega t plus IB cos omega t. Okay, so we know the formula of current. I equals to I effective sine omega t plus phi. So here the I effective will be, since see here it is IA sine omega t plus IB cos omega t. We can write cos omega t as sine omega t plus pi by 2. It means these two are having a phase difference of pi by 2. So for this we can write I effective is equals to under root of I1 square means IA square plus I2 square means IB square, and we have to find the RMS value. RMS means root 2. So I effective will be equals to under root of I1 square plus I2 square over root 2. Root 2 means 2. So the correct answer is option A. Okay. Now next question 45. An electron of mass m with an initial velocity v equals to v naught I enters an electric field E equals to minus E naught k cap. Minus means it is into the plane of the paper. If the initial de Broglie wavelength is lambda naught, the value after t would be de Broglie wavelength. We know that according to de Broglie wavelength, lambda naught will be equals to h over mv naught. Let us say this is equation number 1. And now it is given that this is x-axis and this is y, means here iota cap and here j cap. So a particle, let us say it is starting at t equals to 0 second, and this is z direction, and E equals to minus E naught k cap means the electric field is into the plane of the paper, so the force will act in this direction and the electron will travel a path like this. Okay, so it is moving with a velocity of v naught, means initial velocity is v naught. So v naught, the electron will travel the path this, and v naught is going in the x direction, v naught iota cap. So its initial velocity path is this. So if we want to find the vz component, so vz component will be uz plus AZT, and since the force is acting in this direction, so uz will be 0, so vz will be AZT, and AZ means E over M into T. So the vz component will be here E over M into T. So if we want to find the resultant, lambda T, so the resultant will be, okay, lambda T will be again H over mv. M into this resultant of these two. So resultant of these two will be this V naught square plus E square M square into T square. Okay. Let us say this is equation second. Now from here you can see H over mv naught is what? Lambda naught. So we'll use it here. So lambda T will be equals to H over mv naught under root of 1 plus e square m square v naught square into t square. This h over mv naught is nothing but lambda naught. So it will be under root of 1 plus e square m square v naught square into t square. And this is our final answer. So the correct option is, I think option number 1 is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question. A square loop of side A equals to 1 meter is held normally in front of a point charge Q equals to 1 coulomb. The flux of the electric field of the shaded region is 5 by P into 1 over epsilon naught Newton meter square over coulomb. So we have to find the value of P. Okay. Flux of electric field. We know that from the Gauss formula, flux is equals to 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. Since we are given with a square loop, okay, whose side is given as A equals to 1 meter, whose side is given as A equals to 1 meter, okay. Now, so what we will do now, A is given as and charge is given as 1 coulomb to the flask. Okay, so we can draw this as like this. So according to the question, we have to find the flask of this part, okay, this shaded part, and Q is the point charge equals to 1 coulomb. This is A, and this distance is given as A by 2. So if this is center charge Q equals to 1 coulomb, and if this distance is A by 2, so for a square, if this distance is A by 2, so then the flux through complete surface will be 1 over epsilon naught times into Q by 6. Okay, this is the flux through a square whose side is given as 1 A by 2. Okay, now let us divide this square into 4 equal parts. Let us draw it as this. So if we divide this square into 8 equal part, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so it means the shaded part is 1 2 3 4 5, 5 by 8 part of this square. So the flux through the shaded region will be equals to this initial flux into this 5 by 8th part. So initial flux is 1 over epsilon naught times into Q by 6 into 5 by 8. So the answer will be 5Q over 48 epsilon naught. So flux will be 5Q over 48 epsilon naught. So if we compare with that given in the question, so the value of P is 48 here. Okay, value of P is 48. Now next question 47. The least count of a screw gauge is 0.01 millimeter. If the pitch is increased by 75% and the number of divisions on the circular scale is reduced by 50%, then the new least count. Okay. So we know that least count of a screw gauge is equals to pitch over number of divisions, and according to question it is given as 0.01 millimeter. Okay. So pitch over n is this. If the pitch is increased by 75%, if pitch is increased by 75% means it will be now 1.75 L, and number of divisions are reduced by 50. 50 means half, means n by 2. It will be the new least count. Okay. So this will be 1.75 into L into 2 over n will be equals to new least count, and pitch over number of division is equals to what? 0.01. So 2 into 1.75 into 0.01 will be equals to new least count. So it will be 3.50 into 0.01 millimeter will be equals to new least count. So it will be equals to 35 into 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. So our answer is 35 into 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. Okay. Now next question 48. A current of 5 ampere exists in a loop, square loop of side 1 by root 2 meter. Okay. Then the magnitude of the magnetic field B at the center of the square loop will be P into 10 to the power minus 6t, where the value of P is. Okay. So we are given with a square loop and its side is given as A equals to 1 by root 2 meter. Now let us say this is center O. So we will resolve this in two parts. This will be 45 degree and this will also be 45 degree. So if this distance, let us say if this distance is A, so this distance will be A by 2. This, let us say this is D distance, OP, let us say O. If this side is A, then this distance OP means D. It is equals to A by 2. Okay. So if it is A by 2, then D will be equals to A by root, and A by 2 and A is 1 by root 2. So it will be 1 by root 2 into 1 by 2. So it will be 1 over 2 root 2. Okay. Now we have to find the magnitude of the magnetic field. We know that for such cases the magnetic field is given by mu naught I over 4 pi d into, this is cos 45, cos 45, 2 cos 45 means 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2. Okay. So it will be mu naught is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7, and current is 5 ampere over 4 pi into d. D is this 1 over 2 root 2 into 1 over root 2 plus 1 over root 2 means 2 over root 2. So when we will solve this root 2 cancel, 4 pi cancel. So it will be equals to 5 into 2 into 2, 20 into 10 to the power minus 7. So it will be equals to 2 into 10 to the power minus 6, and it is for one side only. So if we have to find for the whole square, so multiply it with 4 sides. So it will be 8 into 10 to the power minus 6. So the value of P here is 8. Okay. Now next question 49. A wire of resistance 9 ohm is bent to form a equilateral triangle. This is the equilateral triangle, and A, B, C and 3 ohm resistance. So 9 ohm. So it will be 3 ohm, 3 ohm and 3 ohm. So the equivalent resistance across any two vertices. So across any two vertices, let be this 3 ohm, this 3 ohm. These two are in series, so it will be 6 ohm, and this 6 ohm will be in parallel to this 3 ohm. So 6 ohm parallel to 3 ohm. So it will be resultant will be 1 over 6 plus 1 over 3, or we can say R equals to R1 plus R2 over R1 into R2. So it will be 639 over 18. So it will be, so R will be 2 ohm. Okay. 1 over R will be R1 plus R2 over R1 into R2. It will be 9 over 18. So R will be 2 ohm. So our answer is 2 ohm. Okay. Now next question 50. The temperature of 1 mole of an ideal monoatomic gas is increased by 50 degrees Celsius at constant pressure. Temperature is increased by 50 degrees Celsius. An ideal monoatomic gas, 1 mole means N equals to 1 mole of an ideal gas, and constant pressure means delta P is equals to 0. The total heat added, the change in internal energy are E1 and E2 respectively. So we have to find the value of X here. Okay. We know that heat change at constant pressure will be equals to N specific heat at constant pressure into delta T, and it is equals to E1. So it will be equals to N. And for monatomic gas, this specific heat at constant pressure will be 5 by 2 R delta T. And heat change at constant volume will be equals to N CV delta T. It is equals to E2. And it will be N at constant volume. The specific heat will be 3 by 2 into R delta T. And according to question, E1 over E2 is equals to X over 9. So when we divide this equation by this equation, N cancels, R delta T cancels, 2 cancel. So E1 over E2 equals to X over 9. It is equals to 5 over this 3. So from here 3x equals to 45. So x will be equals to 15. This is our final answer. So the value of x here is 15.